All right, today we're going to finish up the study guide for your semester exam. And before I complete the last 4 problems, I just wanted to address a couple of issues in yesterday's notes. On problem number 12 here, when I factored this denominator and took out an x to the third, when you divide x to the third back into x to the third, you get a 1. And when you divide x to the third into 5x to the fourth, you get 5x to the first power. Okay, so this factor should have been 1 minus 5x. So when we're finding our zeros by setting each factor equal to 0, this just should have been 1 minus 5x, which would have made negative 5x equal to negative 1. And then when you divide each side by negative 5, we wouldn't have had to deal with an x squared. All right, we would have just had x is equal to 1/5. So the other exclusion is that x cannot be equal to just 1/5. And then in some of these other problems where we were listing exclusions, I was using x regardless of the variable in the problem. So hopefully you guys caught it and or figured it out. But if q is the variable in this whole problem, then the exclusions are that q cannot be equal to 4. And in problem 16, y was the variable, so y could not be equal to these exclusions. Number 17 is okay. All right, number 18 again, this should be s cannot be equal to negative 5 and 2. And then on problem number 20, if we're naming a polynomial by terms and it has 4 terms, it's a 4th term polynomial. 4th term polynomial, or a polynomial. Of 4 terms. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to complete the last 4 problems from your study guide. And problem number 23. What are the real or imaginary solutions of each polynomial equation? We've got x to the 4th minus 20x squared equal to negative 64. So we're going to get everything on the left-hand side of this equation. So we're going to add 64 to each side. We're left with x to the 4th minus 20x squared plus 64 equal to 0. And now we're going to factor this, okay? And it's a trinomial, and the first exponent is a 4, and the middle exponent is a 2. So when we break this apart, we're looking for factors of 64 that add to negative 20. But our x's are going to be x squareds in each of these factors. So 16 and 4 multiply to 64. So we go x squared minus 16 and x squared minus 4. Now, those are both, or those can both be factored again as well. X squared minus 16 factors to x plus 4 times x minus 4, and x plus 2 times x minus 2. All right, so our solutions, if we set all of these factors equal to 0, if x plus 4 equals 0, we subtract 4, then we get an x equal to negative 4. When we do that for the x minus 4 equals 0, we're going to get an x that's equal to positive 4. So our solutions are x can be equal to positive or negative 4. And if you look at the 2, we're going to have the same results. X plus 2 and x minus 2 is going to produce a positive and negative 2. All right. So those are your real solutions. There are no imaginary solutions in this equation. So x can be equal to positive or negative 4 or positive or negative 2. And then the last 4 problems, or the last 3 problems of the study guide, are long division problems. Problem 24, you're asked to divide x plus 4 into 4x to the third plus 2x squared plus 3x plus 4. So we take the x and we divide it into 4x to the third. And x into 4x to the third is 4x squared. And then we multiply 4x squared times x. 4x squared times x is 4x to the third. And then 4x squared times 4 is 16x squared. And we subtract. So 4x to the third minus 4x to the third is a 0. And 2x squared minus 16x squared is negative 14x squared. Then we bring down the plus 3x, and we bring down the plus 4. And then repeat the process. We divide x into negative 14x squared. And that would go negative 14x times. Then we multiply. Negative 14x times x is negative 14x squared. And negative 14x times 4 is negative 56x. Now we're going to subtract all of this. So when you're subtracting a negative, it's the same as adding. So we get a 0 here, and we get 3x plus 56x, which is 59x. And we bring down the 4. Then divide x into 59x, and it goes positive 59 times. Now we multiply. 59 times x is 59x. And 59 times 4 is 236. Now we're going to subtract. So 59x minus 59x is 0. 4 minus 236 is equal to negative 232. So that becomes our remainder. So this is a remainder of 232. So 4x squared minus 14x plus 59, remainder 232 is your quotient. And I'll do number 26 for you. I'm going to leave 25 for you to practice on your own. The answers are all listed at the end of the study guide that I posted to Focus. So problem number 26, we are dividing x plus 4 into x to the third plus x squared minus x plus 2. So again, x into x to the third goes x squared times, and then we multiply. X squared times x is x to the third. X squared times 4 is 4x squared. And then we subtract. So x to the third minus x to the third is 0. X squared minus 4x squared would be negative 3x squared. And we bring down the other terms. And then we just keep repeating that process. X into negative 3x squared goes negative 3x times. So negative 3x times x is negative 3x squared. And negative 3x times 4, negative 12x. Subtract. 3x squareds cancel. Negative x minus negative 12x. All right, that would be the same as addition. So that's negative x plus 12x, which gives us 11x plus 2. And then divide x into 11x. And that goes 11 times. Multiply. 11 times x is 11x. And 11 times 4 is positive 44. Subtract. The 11x's become a 0. And we have 2 minus 44. And 2 minus 44 would be negative 42. So that becomes our remainder. So our quotient is x squared minus 3x plus 11. Remainder, negative 42. Are there any questions? All right, that completes your study guide for your semester exam. Your semester exam will be on Friday. It has been posted to Focus, but I ask you not to take it until Friday. But your semester exam, which is labeled Semex2, is due Friday. Friday by the end of the school day. Semester 2 exam, Semex2, is due Friday by the end of the school day.